Mayor Garcetti joins me here on the show. Mr. Mayor, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Let me ask you first.
Great to be with you.
Why did you want the Olympics in L.A.?
I think Olympics are in our blood. I'm an 84 boy who grew up as a kid when the world came to my town, watched Carl Lewis and Joan Benoit and Oscar de la Hoya and everybody who in 1984 kind of showed off the best of the city and made a profit that we put into youth sports that discovered people like the Williams sisters. So, I think that unlike a lot of places, we've got infrastructure built here. It's a private bid, no public money. We make money, and we're a great sports town with all the facilities pretty much done. So it seemed like a no-brainer for us to go to the Olympics and say, just like we did in '84, it's time to reboot the brand. Come to L.A., we'll reconnect you with a new generation of sports fans and of sports. And, after 4 years, we got it. And, for the first time, it's coming back since 1996 for the Summer Games in the United States.
Boston, of course, punted on the Olympics. They didn't want it after they were named as the U.S. representative for the 2024 Olympics. Have you noted over the last, 4, 8 years, whatever timetable, that interest in hosting the Olympics has kind of waned globally?
Absolutely. I mean, not only did Boston punt, Hamburg, Germany dropped out, Rome, Italy, Budapest, Hungary. So it was down to just Paris and us, and this is a great way that we both can win. Paris will take 24, we'll take 28, but we'll get hundreds of millions of dollars more for waiting. That's my pitch to the Olympics was, this is kind of eerily like the mid-'70s. Remember in 1977, we bid, it was right after the Montreal Olympics where, that city went way into debt to build new facilities that weren't used afterwards as extensively as they thought. And so actually no other city in the world was around at the end, so we got the '84 Olympics. But after LA showed how to do it with Peter Uberoth and changing the sponsorship model, in 1985, 6 cities bid, and Barcelona won for those '92 Olympics. So I think the same thing will happen after LA. People will see, you don't have to kill yourself. You can use existing infrastructure. Don't try to build a bunch of fancy stuff. We're using UCLA, for instance, for our athletes village, which saved us probably a couple $2 billion. We're using the Ram Stadium instead of, building a new Olympic stadium, which saved us probably $2 or $3 billion. So this is a smarter way. We hope to, because I love the Olympics. This town loves the Olympics. About 80 to 90% of people support this in different polls. So it's time to help the Olympics come back and get back to its roots, which is about sports and competition.
When Boston was awarded the Olympics, locals, the media, they pretty much universally panned it and didn't want it. What has been the reaction of your constituents, the people of L.A., to your bid and ultimately your awarding of the Olympics?
It's such overwhelming support. I mean, I think the lowest poll was 78%. The highest has been 88%. One that just came out last week by a local university showed 83% support. I mean, in a big city, that means you can find hundreds of thousands of people against it, but there's millions of people for it because, so many people volunteered, so many people went to those events. Even some people who don't care for sports, remember there was no traffic in LA for 17 days in '84. So some of them come up to me saying, "Hey, Mayor, will you throw the Olympics just so I can get 17 days with no traffic back here in LA?" So it's an amazing thing that I think brings us together. And the real legacy of this will not be a bunch of buildings. It'll be we're going to make sports universally accessible to all kids in all zip codes. So no family has to stress out about $150 for a uniform that they can't afford so their kid doesn't get to play baseball or basketball. And that legacy won't have to wait till after the Olympics. Our negotiations for 28 gave us enough money to start that as early as next year in the lead up and then permanently after.
How bad's traffic going to be in the build up to the Olympics, though?
Traffic's always bad in Los Angeles, but voters in November passed the biggest initiative in this nation's history times two. We're building 15 new light rail lines and rapid transit lines, fixing our freeways. I mean, LA is a place people want to be, so traffic's always going to be a little bit tough. But, I joke that it's not just the Olympics, it's a Jewish holiday or Armageddon. Enough people get off the road here, about 10%, and the traffic actually flows. So we hope to see a lot of stuff open by 2028 of the new lines. Certainly where the villages at UCLA will have a subway that can move faster than a car even when there's no traffic from the west side of LA all the way to downtown where a lot of those events are going to be at USC and down by the Staples Center.
Will the Olympics be spread out over areas outside of Los Angeles? How far outside of the greater LA area do you expect to go?
There's a couple things outside of LA, but it's mostly clustered in 4 Olympic parks, which will allow you to see multiple sports without having to go in and out of security. You can see, fencing right next to basketball and still stay in the same security area downtown, down by the StubHub Center in Carson. You can check out multiple sports from, tennis to rugby and other things that will be in the same campus. The only ones outside the LA area is right now we have volleyball wanted to be down in where the Ducks play at the Honda Center in Anaheim, because that's kind of the center of basketball globally. Of volleyball globally. And then our rowing, we don't have a lot of water, so right now we're a little bit east of LA in a place called Lake Paris. But we're also talking about possibly doing it in Long Beach, where we're going to have 4 or 5 different sports already. So it'll be pretty compact once you get into an Olympic park. And the nice thing that's different than other Olympics, even when they're closer together, you got to go in and out of security, and that can take hours. Once you get in here, you might catch 3 or 4 sports in any one of these parks.
Before I let you go, as we talked about the Olympics, the interest in hosting summer games, winter games has waned kind of globally. Do you think the Olympics should continue to rotate cities every 4 years, or would it benefit from having a fixed location for summer and winter games?
I'm open to both, and LA would be a natural place to have, every 4 Olympics come here. We're ready. We could, throw the Olympics probably 2 months from now or 2 decades from now. But that said, I hope that LA inspires cities that might think, I can't do this, that you can fit your city to the Olympics rather than having the Olympics having to fit into your city. So to me, there's plenty of places that have plenty of facilities. If we would just get over I have to have 15,000 people watch team handball or whatever it is. You can have 2,000 or 3,000 in a great arena that probably exists in American cities, and then you don't have to build things. Same thing around the world. So I think if the Olympics can be a little bit more accommodating, realize that the real audience is the TV audience, and you can have a great smaller venue, we could still keep going to new cities. But if they decide to just go to some set ones, LA would be at the top of that list.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Mayor, on the Olympics 2028. Best of luck in preparing for it, and thanks for joining me here on the show.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Good talking to you.
That's Eric Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles, joining me here. Dan Patrick Show.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.